before we answer the last few questions, we were watching through a video about Mass Effect
Near and
Andromeda.
dear to our hearts.
And, like, one thing really caught our attention during this, other than the combat, and, it's very fluid, and it's more maneuverability, moving around. Mobility in the game, you see something happen. You see something really interesting, and they talk about it. And in the original like release of it, without the creators talking about it, it's kind of just this moment that just glosses over because you're focused on the combat.
Yeah, you don't know what's really going on in the world.
You can now call down what they're called is forward stations. You can call down these forward stations when you're out and about in the wild. I don't think you can do it while you're in a city. That would be kind of weird. Like crush this, like
someone's under it and they
the
fall
jellyfish people, the
Hanhar.
Yeah, the Hanhars. Crush one of them. But you can call these down in the field, and you actually can change. You can resupply. Yep. You can change your loadout, like your guns and your armor and everything, to kind of better equip you for the environment.
The biggest thing. Oh, okay.
No, I'm going to let you have it.
You could switch out your party here, which is something in 1, 2, and 3, which would have come in handy a lot of situations. Mm-hmm. We've never been able to do it.
No, because you have had to go back to the ship and restart the mission.
There's a part where I'm at right now where I was like, wow, I could sure use the blue chick, Liara.
Yeah.
I was like, I could sure use Liara, but I have Rex and Talia, and I'm like... And
so you have a Vanguard and a tech, an engineer.
Yeah.
I always had Rex and Liara. And and then that one day that happened, then I had Ashley and Liara. But that's awesome. I think that's going to be really, really cool to use in the field when, I know I'm scouting out. These are the things that are happening. This is kind of the environment that I'm going up against. Let me switch out my party and let me use an engineer and an adept. That's going to, set me up for success. Yeah. Or, these guys are, because each class has its strengths against other and weaknesses against others. So, switching them out, seeing what's doing the best for you at the moment, I think it's going to be a really cool option to have. It's going to be super cool. Super cool. Now, let's see if we got any other questions before we start going down. Okay. Jake Reed asks, and guys, you can go to facebook.com/nerdcave and post your topics or questions.
Or you could just go on Facebook in that search bar they have up there and Nerd Cave, and our page and our group both pop up.
Yes. I'm going to make sure that nobody posted anything on Instagram while I'm doing this. It doesn't look like it. So, Jake Reed asks, how long will it take us to land people on Mars? We can do it right now, Brian.
We have the technology, but it's why would we? That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. I think we could do it right now. I think it would be kind of pointless because they wouldn't be able to sustain any life at this point. Curious to see where the mission to Mars, where they're going to build that colony, is going to go. I say we do it in 2030 is when we actually land somebody on Mars.
I was going to say 2025, but...
In the year 2025 in the past. So, yeah, there you go on that answer. And then... I think his name is pronounced Gadil.
We'll go with that.
Gadil,
because
it was he was talking to me on Twitter.
Yeah, I saw that.
Enjoy having a chat with you, bro. It was like Gadil, like deal or Gadile. I'm not sure. You tell me which option was right.
Option 1,
Gadil, or option 2. Gadile. And I'm not even going to try your last name, bro. It's Zilaznog or something like that. So, there you go. That's as good as I can do.
We promise you Americans aren't stupid.
Thoughts or opinions on the current state of esports?
May I?
Yes,
Okay.
Go ahead.
I've been following esports a lot more than I ever have, especially this year, because this year is where we're seeing esports take a huge leap forward. We're having games like, Gears of War, Overwatch, Dota, Smite, League of Legends. All these different games are coming into relevance in the esport era. And yeah, you still have a lot of people. Colin Cowherd is a sports analyst that I have grew up listening to, even though he craps on all my favorite teams. He kind of irked me in a way when he came out and was talking about how, esport people should, crawl back into the mother's basements and stuff like that, being really aggressive against, having esports not be a real thing. And, Colin doesn't really think about how when you look at a chess tournament, you see the guy who just won, who just kicked everybody's butt. You're not like, oh, look at this geek, he should go back to his mother's basement. You're like,
I'm sure he thinks the same thing.
But you look and you're like, wow, this guy, he's intelligent, he has great strategy. But when you look at a game like a MOBA or some of these other games where you're having to use strategy and like you're using a lot of the same things you would in like a chess match, people kind of lose that chess is technically a sport like that. It's a battle of wits, and that's what esports is. The issue with esports is salary. You're going to have to start paying these pro players. You're going to have to start setting up people talking to agents and people who are getting represented by this, and it's going to also come down to betting. You're going to have underage people who are pulling in a lot of the esports. Underage people. You're going to have a lot of these guys who are gamers. You know how we are. We cuss. We do stuff like that. And you're going to have that, dealing with kids too. And then the gameplay, the content we have, which is violent in nature. So there's a lot of things that, we need to kind of figure out where we're going to go with esports to try to find a fine line between all of this stuff.
I think it's a very big and growing and upcoming community.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people really enjoy it, and I think it started from Twitch streaming.
Yeah.
A lot of it started from that, and a lot of people love watching gameplay for whatever reason it is. I know I like watching people as well, play games and all of that. But the thing that I think we can pull from this, and you kind of hit on it, there's no gatekeepers right now. To a certain degree, yes, there's rules for each type of game. Street Fighter has rules and all this kind of stuff. There's been this community, this competitive community for a very long time. It is now getting recognition because we've got the technology to stream this to people. That Twitch is involved in all of this, and ESPN has been involved in it. Where do we see this, going? Do you see it starting to get regulated and all of that? And do you see it start dwindling because people aren't as interested in a regulated, like, oh, well, you can't say that? And when you see these things televised, you don't see the gamers, like, really cussing a lot. Like, you'll, like...
Because they're focused.
Yeah, they're focused and everything. And you see, like, if someone, messes up or, like, gets beat or whatever, like, you see anguish, but they're really not mic'd. Like, it's the commentators. And they treat it like a sporting event. Like, they commentate like a sports commentator would. They make color comments and all of that.
Yeah.
But I think it's moving into a legitimate thing. They just have to do it in the right way and not make it something that it's not.
And I watched the Dota championships, which were being broadcast on Facebook. And at any moment, I would watch, and they'd be, anywhere from 12 to 15 to 30,000 people watching these.
Yeah.
So the interest is there, and I could see it. I'm not saying it's going to rival the NFL or the NBA, but you got to look at it. A lot of the nerds who watch football like me, like you, like Derek Daniel and everybody, we watch football, but, someone's like, oh, they're throwing a Gears of War championship. I'd watch that. You got to think, if if, like you said, if they spin it off in the right way, if they get everything rolling in the right way, then I wouldn't see any issue with this at all.
Yeah, I think if they can do it the correct way and get the people involved that want to be involved, they're going to be set up for success. So, good question on that. Good deal or good dial. Option 1 or 2. You let me know. Now, Nick asked, "What do I need? What do you need for a wedding gift?" You got to give me some parameters because I can name like some big ticket items. Give me some parameters. We can talk later about that. I could be just like, yeah, man, I need a Mark II Canon C100 camera.
It's only like what, 4,000?
Yeah, it's $4,000. I don't know, man. We're registered everywhere, but it's gonna be like vacuums and like pots and pans. I need video games or something like that. I'm whispering because I don't want her to hear.
A lot of gaming stuff.
Yeah, a lot of gaming
Help
stuff.
Zach out.
Help me out.
Because I want to pick something up and be like, this is for the both of you. And I'm going to look at Zach and I'm like, enjoy the games.
But if you don't know, guys, getting married June 24th.
It's coming around the corner.
Yeah, would live stream it, but we're not going there. We're not.
That's a little too much.
A little too much, even though my personality is I'm going to make this big. I'm going to make everything big.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, go big or go home. Just like the Nerd Cave podcast, which, guys, each and every week you can get it early on patreon.com/nerdcave on Mondays. Or you can get it doled out segment by segment. Just watching what you want to watch. Be like, oh, I want to watch this one today. That one doesn't interest me. You can do that. That's all up to you. Friday, though, we put out the whole thing on podcast services around the world and YouTube. So you can watch it all right there. You can sit down, get you some popcorn.
Get your popcorn ready.
Yeah. Just get there. Just, put some cinnamon on there. I don't know why you put cinnamon on there.
I put butter on mine. I'm an American. I like my butter.
You put cinnamon on that.
I like my butter.
Hey, guys, you can check all of that out. Working on some new things coming down the pipeline. That's more than likely going to be coming out in January. I might put like a pilot out of something that I'm working on right now. But a lot of new stuff coming.
Guys, we have tons of podcasts that come out through the week. We have, of course, this one. We have mine and Derek's Fantasy Football Show. not Sunday Morning Stars. That's our radio show. But we're talking about Fantasy Football for Nerds. You got Nerd Cave Retro, which Derek and Jason sit down and talk about all the retro games and gaming systems. You have
Battle of the Brands,
which is our wrestling podcast. You have PCP that comes out on Saturdays. I listened to this last episode of the guys. They were talking about Baywatch, different things. Great group of guys. They're just like us, talk about the same stuff, but they bring a much more seasoned point of view.
Because they're old.
Because they're older than us.
I'm just saying. No offense if y'all are listening.
We love you guys.
And then Derek has his own show, the Derek Diamond Experience. So, guys, definitely check all of those out and keep coming back for more.
I didn't know where you were going.
I was going.
I was helping you guys.
I was going there.
Okay, good.
And guys, check out the Nerd Cave Gaming channel, which if you're watching on YouTube, you can find links. They're everywhere.
Yes.
As this video is ending, you'll see them here. Guys, this has been Zach
and Robbie.
Have a week.